It's heavy in the pre-rut. We're gonna sneak into this area. We're gonna sit right down between two big hinge cut areas and see if we can rattle this buck we call Jimmy Hoffa in. Super dominant buck, big 8-pointer, and just really, really aggressive with all the bucks in the area. So when we're talking about blind rattling, what I'm talking about is, you don't have any deer spotted, you can't see any bucks, you're just gonna rattle and see if maybe there's a buck within earshot of that rattling. I've had good effect with this up to 400 yards away. I've seen bucks that are way, way out, long distance away, hear that rattling and start towards you. And so that's what you're counting on, is that there's a buck somewhere within earshot that'll be able to hear that rattling. And it's something you really want to focus on during the heavy one in the pre-rut, when the bucks are on their feet, they're covering ground and starting to look for does and doe groups. That's when we have luck with it. Around about November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, we really start blind rattling a lot. Counting on a buck is gonna hear that rattling and move towards the stand. Another thing we pay extreme attention to is which way is your wind blowing in relation to where you expect the deer to be. In this particular case, we're counting on the fact that our wind is blowing, right up this valley away from those hinge cuts. So if that buck is down in there and hears this rattling, he can approach us and he's never gonna wind us. So it's something to pay real attention to. So now it's getting light out. The camera finally has light. I give Brad the go ahead. I've got camera light, so go ahead and see if you can rattle a buck in. He starts rattling and we're listening, just trying to stare holes in the timber and see if there's a buck coming. We didn't have any response to that blind rattling sequence, but the important thing is to stay at it, because you just never know when a buck's going to come over a rise or out of a valley and be able to hear you all of a sudden when he couldn't just a minute ago when you did it. So we generally will blind rattle like that every 15 or 20 minutes to try and make sure that as many bucks as possible are going to hear it, because you just never know when you're going to catch somebody in the right mood, or a buck might stand up and now all of a sudden he's willing to come in. About 20 minutes went by. Brad decides he's going to hit the black racks together again and see if we can get a buck to come to the tree. So Brad's rattled twice now with the black racks, and we're starting to doubt, is Jimmy Hoffa in here today? At the same time, we're getting excited, thinking, well, maybe he is in here, because there should have been some bucks coming into this rattling. It's November 4th. It's got to be go time. We know Jimmy Hoffa's in this area somewhere. The sun's shining. It just feels like something's going to happen. So Brad decides he's going to rattle with the black racks again, and we're just excited to see if he'll show himself. We're looking all around trying to figure out what's going on, and boom, here's this buck closing on us from 30 yards away. Brad whispers in my ear, "It's Jimmy." So this buck closes in and comes right in front of us about 5 or 6 yards, and it's just total chaos. I'm trying to say stuff to Brad, he's trying to say stuff to me, he's at full draw. The buck is right in our lap.
Bat.
And he gets a perfect shot at him. It was just crazy how fast something like this can happen. We had rattled over and over that morning with no response, and all of a sudden, bang, this buck is in our lap. It's the target buck that, Brad's trying to kill, and he's 6 yards away. You really got to stay on it, because you just never know when all of a sudden everything's going to change.
We touched the horns together, and he came in on a line, finished up at 5 yards, and put a shot on him, and he went maybe 100. The extinguisher and the black rack, if you don't have them, you better get them.
Well, this really shows the importance of using communication tools on a hunt like this. I don't believe we ever would have even seen this buck had we not had the black racks with us. Unbelievable. I mean, you know, when you start talking about 300-400 yards away, you can pull bucks to your tree. That's a huge, huge advantage.
Want to experience the same results you just witnessed? Use what the Deer Society experts use. The Extinguisher Deer Call and Black Rack Rattling System are the highest rated deer communication systems of all time, and less than 1% of deer hunters will have the opportunity to buy one this season. Get yours today at thedeersociety.com. Order now.